discuss 5 tactical tips to help you win your next game of Brass Birmingham. It's all well and good to have a solid strategic plan. This video will help you execute your plan. Play one action: Ironworks, coal mines, and breweries. Sometimes you can build and deliver an ironworks or a coal mine in a single action. Usually this happens because another player connects an ironworks or coal mine site without building on it. But in the rail era, you might have connected the site on a prior turn for some unrelated reason. Assuming you have a relevant card and there's room in the market, you can build the tile and immediately deliver the goods. This gives you points and income in an action-efficient way. When should you build a single action coal mine or ironworks? Honestly, there are very few situations where this isn't your best play. Iron is normally in demand during the Canal era because the development action uses iron. Further, building ironworks in the Canal era scores a lot of points because the tile scores twice. In the Canal era, it usually makes sense to build a single action ironworks even if all the iron won't deliver immediately. If you wait for the iron market to empty out, one of your opponents will probably build the ironworks and score the points for you. Coal works differently. First you get paid for your coal, and then the coal mine increases your income significantly, usually by 3 or 4 pounds in the Canal era. You might get 30 pounds for your coal mine over the course of the game. Loans also give you 30 pounds. So if you build a coal mine that delivers immediately, you might take one less loan later in the game. You take one action now to build a coal mine, but you get the action back because you'll take one less loan later on. That's like having your cake and eating it too. If only coal mines offered more points. Still, a level 2 coal mine delivered in the Canal era will give you 4 points. 4 points isn't nothing. Unfortunately, coal demand isn't high in the Canal era, so there won't be that much room in the coal market. In the rail era, coal demand surges as everyone rushes around building rail. The income benefits of coal diminish though, as you've probably built up more income and there are fewer turns left and therefore fewer opportunities to collect your income. In the rail era, you shouldn't build a coal mine unless you're getting at least 5 or 6 pounds for your coal. That way, you still eventually get 30 pounds for your coal mine and you still avoid a loan. If your opponents want to sell you coal for 1 or 2 pounds, let them. The point is that a coal mine built at the right time is a slow motion loan that gives you a few points at the same time. With breweries, the situation is a bit more complicated. If you have a location card, you can always build breweries with a single action because they don't need to be connected. Even so, you may want to build them sooner rather than later. Each player has 5 brewery tiles of level 2 or above. That's 20 brewery tiles in a 4-player game. How well do they fit on a board that only has 11 brewery sites? Somebody's gonna get locked out. You might want to build a couple level 2 breweries in the Canal era, and then, in the rail era, you want to grab brewery sites as quickly as you can before they're gone. Remember that you can permanently reserve a farm brewery site for yourself by building the connecting rail line, and during the Canal era, a Detoxeter card assures you a brewery site assuming that no one has an any location card. Use your plan to decide which cards to keep. In my first Brass Birmingham strategy video, I mentioned that you need to have a plan. But what good is a plan if you don't have the cards you need? The truth is, the only action that requires a specific card is build, and you'll only build about 6 times in the Canal era. In a 4-player game, you'll draw 15 cards in the Canal era. So the trick is to keep the 6 cards you'll need to build, and use all the other cards to take actions that don't require any specific card. How do you know which cards to keep? Well, if you plan to build 2 level 2 manufacturers, then you'll need 2 or 3 cards that can build a manufacturer in easily connected spaces. You'll also need a couple cards to build ironworks, and you'll probably want 2 or 3 cards to build breweries. For the manufacturers, I might want 1 location card and 1 industry card. The same is true of ironworks. For breweries, I prefer location cards because I probably won't have time to connect them. I haven't shown a detailed action budget for cotton mills yet, but it's about the same. You just need cards to build cotton mills instead of manufacturers. One more thing, show a preference toward cards that might allow you to build a single action ironworks or coal mine. It's great to hold Dudley or Coventry when an opponent connects them to Birmingham. You always have the perfect card. This point is short but important. For the price of a single action, you can always get a perfect card and a nearly perfect card. Every turn you should ask yourself, what would I do if I had a perfect card? If the answer is a lot better than your current plan, scout. It makes more sense to scout during the last 4 rounds of an era because you won't be drawing any more cards. When you scout during the first 4 rounds of an era, you don't know what you'll draw. Perhaps you'll draw the cards you needed without taking an action. Manipulate turn order. How much money you spend controls your spot in the turn order. You control how much money you spend, so you also control your spot in the turn order. This is particularly true when you're last to act. You already know what everyone else spent, so if you spend less than they did, you'll act first and get 4 actions in a row. Let's say you want to build a manufacturer and an ironworks, but you'll need to take a loan and a scout action to do so. You could take the loan and build the ironworks now. If you do, you'll go third in the next round. But what if your opponents take your manufacturer site before you get to play again? Alternatively, you could take the loan and scout action first. You'll be set up to build both tiles next round, and since you spent nothing, you'll get to act right away. Admittedly, your income will be lower this round because you delayed delivering the ironworks. It's a trade-off. Turn order is particularly important in the second round of the game. In the first round, you only get 1 action. If you go first and you spend nothing by taking a loan or a scout action, you're guaranteed to go first in the second round. If you do, you'll be able to build a link and an ironworks, which is a very strong opening. Or perhaps you'd rather develop in the first round. Anyone who develops after you will have to spend more on iron, and they'll go later than you in the second round. But they might take a loan and beat you to that sweet ironworks in Birmingham. Life is full of tough choices, but now you're manipulating turn order for your own ends, instead of having other people manipulate turn order against you. Keep 1 brewery in reserve. Late in the rail era, all of the best rail will have been built and you'll need to do something else. The best answer is to build a couple industry tiles, which might be manufacturers or cotton mills or potteries, depending on what you did during the canal era. But you'll need beer, and all of the beer has gone to double rail actions. If there's still some merchant beer left, you could take it. Otherwise, you're stuck unless you have a brewery tile left to build. As long as you have a brewery tile left to build, you can build it, either on a site you reserved, or you can overbuild one of your own level 2 breweries. Then you immediately take the sell action. Usually I'm okay leaving beer around for other players to use. After all, those brewery tiles are worth a lot of points, but you don't want anyone to use up the last beer on the board when you have tiles to deliver, so use your first action on your turn to build the brewery and your second action to deliver. Well, I hope that was fun. There are a lot of specific concepts you have to understand in order to discuss Brass Birmingham, and we've got most of them now. We're ready to discuss specific strategic plans that you might use in the game. Next up, I'll talk about BRIC. It's the simplest strategic plan in Brass, and it's the basis of plans that focus on manufacturers and cotton mills. See you in the next video.